Hi, today I'm going to show you how a while loop in Java works, and we're going to create a program, and then there are two exercises for you to do to test your knowledge. So we are going to think of a list of numbers. So say you're a cricket player and you play cricket all season, and then you want a program to input all your cricket scores for the season. So for example, you've scored 80, 30, 55, etc. for all your matches. So you don't know before writing the program how many matches you might play. So that changes from one time of running the program to another. The program must also work out your average score and your total score. So the problem is that we don't know how many matches you may play in a season. So we can't just use a for loop as we did before, because for loops always operate a fixed number of times. So let's look back at the problem. We need to input the cricket scores. We don't know how many, and the program must work out the average and the total. Okay, so we're going to switch to NetBeans and write the program. So let's start it, and I'm just going to call it cricket scores. Let's remove the comments, and now we're going to declare some variables. So we need some integers. We need an integer for score. We're going to need another integer for the total. And let's set that one to 0. And we will need a double for the average. And actually, we're going to need a counter as well to count how many scores have been entered, right? So you see, I declare all my variables that I can think of before starting to code. So now we can input the first score. So we'll go score equals, and we're going to integer.parseInt, JOptionPanda, dialog, input a score. Let's say a cricket score. Right. We've got the JOptionPane underlined in red. So let's add the import. Click on the light bulb, add import. So now we want to input lots of cricket scores. We can't use a for loop because we don't know how many cricket scores. So the technique we're going to use here is a while loop, but we're going to tell the user to enter a negative number if they want to stop. We'll add that in a moment. We'll say, while the score is greater than or equal to 0, we will keep inputting scores. That is a while loop. We've got while, we put a bracket, and then we put a question, a test, a condition in the brackets. Is the score greater than or equal to 0? Sometimes you score 0 in a cricket match, don't you? I hope you don't often, but sometimes it can happen. So we can't have while score equals 0, we'll have to have greater than or equal to 0. I mean, while score greater than 0, we'll have to, yeah. So only if they input a negative, then we will stop inputting. And we'd better tell our user about this. Enter negative to stop. Okay. So now inside the brackets, we need to work out the total. We need to count how many scores have been inputted. And eventually, when the loop ends, we will work out the average. But let's just display score, the score that's just been inputted, and score. And then we will input the score again. So I'm going to highlight this line, Control-C, and click there and Control-V. Let's look at how this loop operates so far. I'm just going to run this. So I can't remember all those numbers, but say we just input 3 scores, 80, 50, 105, And now we want to stop inputting. So we'll input -1. And did you see program stopped? And we have just inputted 3 scores. So we can see that it works. Doesn't matter how many scores we want to input, as long as we finish off by entering a negative number, the loop will then stop. But inside the loop now, we need to work out the total. So we'll say total equals total plus score. And that will give us a total of the how many, what do you call those things? Runs this person has scored in total. And then at the end of the loop, do you see where the loop goes? This is what I keep calling the loop. It's the part of code between the 2 curly brackets. But when the loop ends, so after the second curly bracket, the closing one that comes after the while, that's where we need to display the total, and we need to also work out the average and display the average. Now, to work out the average, we need to know how many scores have been inputted, and we haven't actually done anything to do that. So all we're going to do here is count plus plus. So each time a new score is inputted and we go around the loop, we are going to add 1 to the counter. Then at the end, we can now display our total score plus total. And then let's work out the average. Average equals total slash count. And then we will display that. Average score, we will say plus average. And let's make it quite fancy. We'll say, oops, quote 4 plus count plus quote. Don't forget to put spaces in front of the words when you put your quotes. Okay, for so many matches. All right. So let's try that again. We're going to run the code. So he scored 40, 50, and 60. That is 3 matches. We're going to stop now by inputting -1. And you agree the average there should be 50. Let's see. Okay. Total score 150. Average score 50 for 3 matches. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, the numbers add up. Let's try inputting more scores. Maybe this is not such a good batsman. He's the bowler. 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, and we want to stop. Input -3, any negative number. There's his total score, 34. Average score, 6 for 5 matches. Okay. So our program is working very nicely using a while loop to keep inputting until the user types a negative number. Now I've got some more practice examples for you. So I'm going to show you here. This is for you to work out. The program is called Puppies. It says input the weights of an unknown number of puppies, ending when a weight of 0 is entered. Find the weight of the heaviest puppy and display the data. So I'm going to let you can pause the video now, go and try this out and see if you can remember how to do a while loop. You're going to need to declare an integer for the weight and another integer for the maximum weight, call it max weight. And you will need to input the weight, then do your while loop, do an if statement, etc. And I will show you the solution on the next page. So you can unpause when you're ready. And this is my solution. So I've declared double weight and max weight. We input weight equals double dot pass double, option pane dot show input dialog, input a puppy's weight. enter 0 to stop. And max weight equals weight. So we initialize the maximum weight to the first weight that's been inputted, while the weight is greater than 0. If the weight is greater than the maximum weight, max weight equals weight. And then we input the weight again. When the loop ends after the second curly bracket, we print the maximum weight. Okay, that's that solution. You can go and look at that in your own time. And I hope you get your program to run. And then here's exercise 2. It's called cities. So here you're going to input an unknown number, again, unknown number, which suggests a while loop, of city names and their population size, ending when the city name X is entered. And then you're going to find the city with the largest population and display the biggest city and its population at the end. And again, I've got the solution on the next page. So you can pause this and try to type out this program, get it to run, and then here is my solution. So again, I've declared all my variables at the top, got a string for the city name and max city name, and integer for the population and max population. I input the city name. Oops, I forgot to put a, oh no, I ran this in such a rush. Okay, sorry, I forgot to put the name. Please input a city name, X to stop, right? Okay, you can fix that. Max city name equals city name, population equals integer.parseInt, and you input a population, max population equals population. So we initialize max city name and max population to the first lot of input. Then we'll say, while not city name dot equals X. Remember, city name is a string, so you can't just use equals equals or not equals. You've got to say not city name dot equals quote X quote. Inside the loop, we're going to say if the population is greater than the max population, then we set max city name equals city name and max population to population. We input the next city name. If the city name is not equal to X, we input the next population. And that's the end of the if statement, then the end of the while loop. And at the end, we will display the biggest city and its population. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please like the video and subscribe. And let me know if there are any videos that you would like me to do for you. Any problems you've come across or anything in IT that you would like explanations on. Thanks for watching. See you next time.